Welcome to the news on NTAi International. I am Comfort Fashion and my sign language interpreter is Shegun Ajayi. Let's start with the headlines. National Council Economic welcomes proposal to strengthen polio vaccination coverage. Lingering demands of Academic Staff Union of Universities soon to end. And cases of flesh-eating screwworms increase in Mexico. The National Economic Council, at its 151st meeting, has approved a proposal to strengthen polio vaccination coverage, which has increased from 81 to 84%, with focus on routine immunization. The Council also approved the implementation of Renewed Hope Medium-Term Plan 2026 to 2030. A State House correspondent, Abdurrahman Jubrila, reports.
This is the 151st National Economic Council meeting and the fourth in the year 2025, chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Issues of the type 2 new variant of the polio virus, the Council received the committee responsible for bringing an end to the spread of the disease.
The progress so far made has shown that epidemiological data is on a downward trend from about 78 cases in 2024 as at the 33rd week, which is the week of our last meeting in August. Now it has gone down to 42 cases. And also Kano and Katsina states particularly have recorded 85% and 84% reductions respectively.
With low record in the year 2025, out of the 23 cases across the country, 13 are from Sokoto State, and the Council has taken appropriate steps to ensure no more cases recorded through increased vaccination coverage with focus on routine immunization.
Out of the 23 cases recorded in 2025, Sokoto has 13 cases. And so the committee has reported that, and we've discussed with the governor of Sokoto State with a view to how to strategize and see that they give effective coverage. The committee recommended to NEC that deputy governors, and as usual, that is the deputy governors as the chair state committees, should chair state task force meetings in at least 2 weeks before the next rounds of immunization campaign, particularly in the key prone states like Kano, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. The honorable commissioners of health in the states and executive secretaries of the primary healthcare development agency should conduct post-campaign reviews so that they will address gaps and develop mop-up plans against the future activities to be undertaken.
Following the expiration of the Nigerian Medium-Term Plan 2021 to 2025 in December, the Council has approved the implementation of the Renewed Hope Medium-Term Plan 2026 to 2030, calling on all stakeholders to support the development of the second phase for economic growth and prosperity.
This will ensure policy continuity, consolidate ongoing reforms, and respond to emerging socio-economic challenges. It will also help in providing a coherent framework to accelerate job creation, improve human capital, expand sustainable infrastructure, enhance food security, and strengthen social protection. The Renewed Hope Plan 2026 to 2030 will serve as a bridge between current reform momentum and the long-term aspirations of Nigeria's Agenda 2050.
The Council has also received updates on the Federation accounts from the Accountant General of the Federation.
The third account that was presented was the Natural Resources account, which stood at 106,727,969,527 naira 59 kobo.
From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTAi News.
The Presidential Initiative for Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain, PVAC, has welcomed a research team from University College London and Peking University as part of a study assessing the visibility and potential impact of local manufacturing of diagnostic products in Nigeria. PVAC National Coordinator Dr. Abdul Mukhtar said local manufacturing is not just about production. It is about health security, resilience, and building the foundations of a health economy for the nation.
We are pleased to say that the outcome is very positive. I think they will go back and digest all the information that they've gathered over the next several days and then come back to us with a very clear plan for localization of their products.
We're exploring opportunities around diagnostic manufacturing in Africa, thinking through the whole process to be able to advise them about the viability of a project in Nigeria in particular, but across the West African region.
From the study will be shared with academic institutions, international organizations, and industry stakeholders for health sector industrialization efforts in Africa. Efforts to diversify the Nigerian economy are gaining traction with the gathering of industry experts to validate the National Digital Economy and E-Governance Bill in Abuja. Ayo Makinde reports that this bill is set to improve digital literacy and governance in the country.
The fast rising influence of digital economy in national and cross-border interactions has prompted this convergence of the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy alongside stakeholders to engage in smoothing rough edges and produce a guideline for this booming sector in Nigeria.
That in Q1 2025, the digital economy contributed approximately 7 billion naira to our real GDP, accounting for 14.19%.
When you have policy, they are just statements of intent. You want to do this, you want to achieve this. The strategy is how to do it. But law is more compelling than policies.
This framework, which broadens Nigeria's digital identity, creates frontiers for emergence of more unicorns, startups, and simplified governance at all levels, signaling a departure from paper-based platforms to electronic formats.
It's a modern bill, it's a forward-looking bill, and the bill has addressed taking care of things that the gaps that exist and the futuristic things that the government needs to drive an all-purpose digital government.
The outcome from this engagement will be presented to the National Assembly for consideration as an act of parliament. In Abuja, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTAi News.
The Renewed Hope Initiative, in collaboration with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, has launched Women Economic Empowerment Program across 36 states of the country. Tina Toro reports that the program supported 500 businesswomen in Borno states with grants to boost their small-scale businesses and enhance their economic status.
Dr. Falmata Babagana Umar Zulum, wife of the state governor and coordinator of the Renewed Hope Initiative in Borno State, represented Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu at a ceremony where the women received 50,000 naira each. Wife of the governor praised the initiative, calling it a beacon of hope for many women, and lauded Oluremi Tinubu for the unwavering commitment towards ensuring sustainability of women empowerment through the Renewed Hope Initiative. She emphasized that the support is not alone, but a grant and seed of hope for small-scale entrepreneurs.
When you empower a woman, you empower a household, a community, and indeed a nation.
Commissioner Women Affairs Rera Gambo emphasized that the program is designed to empower women and promote sustainable development initiatives among women. Bawagana Kyari, the Yamuram of Borno, commended the Nigerian First Lady and Falmata Babagana Umar Zulum for touching the lives of vulnerable women and charged beneficiaries to ensure proper utilization. Beneficiaries were overwhelmed with gratitude, thanking Dr. Falmata and the state governor for their support. The program emphasizes that the support is a grant, not a loan, and aims to foster hope and entrepreneurship among women in Borno State. In Maiduguri, Tina Turu, NTAi News.
Nigeria is closing the loop in its cyberspace with the inauguration of a forum by National Cybersecurity Center under the office of the National Security Advisor, charged with equipping industry players with protecting Nigeria's critical national information infrastructure. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports.
Nigeria's cyber threat landscape, a report presented in 2022, shows trends in the country's cyberspace. Phishing attacks on SMEs increased by 87%, while 71% of Nigerian firms were hit with ransomware in 2021. All this is now changing with the official inauguration of a forum charged with protecting Nigeria's critical national information infrastructure under the office of the National Security Advisor.
This journey of protecting our critical national information infrastructure has been long. It has been deliberate and strategic. From the Cybercrime Act of 2015 to the National Cybersecurity Policies 2015-2021, and of course to the recent executive order that brought us all here today that was approved by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. This progress is a testament to the visionary leadership of the President, the unwavering dedication of the NSA, and our collective commitment to building a secure and resilient cyberspace.
Key frameworks and tools these stakeholders from across various sectors will be equipped with for the task ahead include information sharing protocols and the National Cyber Risk Assessment Framework, among others. The forum also provides an avenue for working with reports like Nigeria's cyber threat landscape, which will offer valuable insight into countering cyber attacks and protecting Nigeria's critical information, online or offline. Najatu Tijani, NTAi News.
As part of ongoing effort to disarm criminal elements, the National Center for the Control of Small and Light Weapons has destroyed illicit arms recovered from non-state actors. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was at Giri in Abuja venue of the exercise, and now the reports.
A 2024 Global Counter-Terrorism report indicates about 40 million small arms and light weapons in Africa are in the hands of non-state actors. West Africa alone has about 11 million of these illicit arms. The chunk is said to be in Nigeria. Proliferation of these illicit arms mostly attributed to security challenges in the Sahel region. Nigeria's vast porous border, partly responsible for terrorism, banditry and piracy. This arms destruction is part of Nigeria's efforts to the eradication of illegal arms.
Better to witness the destruction of decommissioned, unserviceable, as well as recovered, captured illicit small arms and light weapons, which have been mopped up through kinetic operations conducted by the military and other security agencies across the country.
The exercise demonstrates Nigeria's commitment to the Article 17 of the ECOWAS Convention on the Regulation of Small Arms and Light Weapons in the sub-region. 1,316 small and light weapons have been destroyed in today's exercise, while the center has destroyed about 13,206 small and light weapons since establishment in 2021. From Giri in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTAi News.
The lingering demand of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, may soon receive fresh attention as the federal government inaugurated a high-powered technical committee to review and address the concerns. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, disclosed this in Abuja while briefing the media on current developments in the education sector.
We're going to do this thing once and for all. Previous agreement that had been done with NASU by the government, the Ministry of Justice was not involved. We want this to be done in a constitutional manner that will, every single agreement that we reach with them will be within the context of our constitution. We would review this, and now once we finalize our own proposal to ASU, we'll give that proposal, a counter proposal to Alhaji Yale Ahmed committee to take to ASU, and then ASU would talk and deliberate and will come back to us. We will work assiduously, as quickly and as fast as possible.
Stakeholders welcomed the move but urged governments to ensure timely implementation to avert another disruption of academic activities. Let's take a break now. We'll be back with more news. The Nigeria Governors Forum has commended the $1 billion investment proposal into the creative economy through a strategic roadmap projected at 2030 with more than 3 million jobs. This came to the fore immediately after a closed-door meeting that lasted several hours during the 5th meeting of the forum at its secretariat in Maitama, Abuja. Governor of Gombe, Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, who read the communique, said the initiative is necessary to launch Nigeria into a world model in the creative sector.
Key initiatives include $200 million Creative Economy Development Fund, the $1 billion Creative and Tourism Infrastructure Corporation, and projects such as the Lagos Arena, Abuja Creative City, and renewed Hope Cultural Villages. Governors commended the reforms to strengthen intellectual property, expand tourism, and elevate Nigeria's global presence, and resolved to collaborate through state creative economy desks, co-created festivals, and the adoption of the Niger Season platform.
The forum later paid tribute to the father of the governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Usman Ododo, who passed on recently, and prayed God to grant him eternal rest and comforts those affected by his demise. The Nigeria Immigration Service has announced an upward review of fees for Nigeria's standard passports effective 1st September 2025. In a statement by the service public relations officer Akinshola Akinlabi, the review applies only to applications made in Nigeria. The new rate now is 100,000 naira for the 32-page passports with 5-year validity and 200,000 naira for the 64-page passports with 10-year validity. The statements add that applications by Nigerians in the diaspora remain unchanged at $150 for the 32-page with 5-year validity and $230 for the 64-page with 10-year validity. Chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has praised Presidents Bola Tinubu and Brazilian President Luiz Lula da Silva for their commitment to fostering cultural ties between Africa and its diaspora. Dabiri Erewa stated this at the cultural heritage event held in the legislative chambers of Brazil, which highlighted Soyinka's Return to Africa project, symbolizing a spiritual and cultural recognition with African roots. Professor Wole Soyinka and Central Bank Governor Yemi Cardoso underlined the practical impact of new direct flights between Nigeria and Brazil as a game changer for business and cultural exchanges. The sideline events formed part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state visit to the Brazilian capital, Brasilia. Nigeria's quest for Category C seats in the International Maritime Organization Council has continued to receive global endorsements. The latest is coming from the government of Switzerland when the country's ambassador to Nigeria, Patrick Felix, paid a courtesy visit to the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyegba Oyetola. Chukwunonso Nwabwezi reports.
Category C seat for Nigeria at the International Maritime Organization IMO Council would no doubt enable the nation make meaningful contributions to international maritime operations and governance. As IMO's October-November 2025 election draws closer, the government of Switzerland is joining other countries in supporting Nigeria's candidacy with the presentation of its letter of endorsement by her ambassador to Nigeria, Patrick Felix Egloff. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, said the support is a testament to the hard work and dedication of the federal government towards upholding international maritime standards, adding that Nigeria's election will result in a more robust and sustainable global maritime industry. The minister used the ambassador's visit to highlight key transformations being witnessed within the country's maritime sector, leading to the development of an all-encompassing national policy on marine and blue economy. Chukunonso Mwapweze, NTAi News.
A top Chinese official will lead a delegation to Washington for trade talks this week. Beijing said this on Thursday as the two countries navigate a truce after months of friction. Framapani reports.
Li Chenggang, China's international trade representative and Vice Minister of Commerce, will travel to Washington to meet with relevant U.S. officials, Commerce Ministry spokeswoman He Yongqiang said. Tensions between the world's two largest economies have simmered this year, but have significantly cooled since April, when both countries slapped escalating tariffs on each other's exports. Duties reached triple digits on both sides, lowering supply chains as many importers halted shipments waiting for the government to work things out. Since then, Washington and Beijing have reached an agreement to de-escalate tensions temporarily, reducing tariffs to 30% on the United States side and 10% on China's part. Li's trip to Washington comes days after U.S. President Donald Trump said he expects to visit China this year or soon after. China is the world's leading producer of rare earths used to make magnets essential to the automotive, electronic and defense industries. This month, they delayed the threatened reimposition of higher tariffs on each other's exports for another 90 days, meaning the pause on steeper duties will be in place until November 10. Bloomberg reported this month that U.S. plane manufacturer Boeing is in talks to sell up to 500 aircrafts in Chinese companies, a deal likely to be contingent on Washington and Beijing coming to a longer-term trade agreement. Meanwhile, Britain's Defense Secretary John Healey holds talks with Japan's Defense Minister Gen Nakatani in Tokyo as the two countries make efforts to further strengthen ties. Responding to an increasingly severe international security environment and sharing the recognition that the security and prosperity of Euro-Atlantic and Indo-Pacific are indivisible. The two ministers emphasized the UK and Japan's deep strategic alignment and reaffirmed the enhanced global strategic partnership. They committed to further strengthening of defense capabilities and increasing security cooperation to help safeguard global peace and stability. Healey told reporters that the discussions reflect the fact that the partnership with Japan is one of their broadest and one of the most important defense and security partnerships that the UK has. Frama Panyi, NTAi News.
Mexico has reported a 53% increase in cases of flesh-eating screwworm in animals over the past month. Government data shows the parasite continues its northward trajectory towards the United States border. Frama Panyi has more.
It's horrific what's going to happen if it gets out of hand. It's an issue that will affect every single person in one way or the other, because when you go to the store to get something to eat, you don't get much to eat without farmers and ranchers.
Mexican government data indicates that there were 5,086 cases of screwworms in animals as of August 17, including 649 active ones. Report on Thursday indicates that updated data has not yet been made public. The parasite has been found primarily in cattle, horses, sheep and dogs, as well as dozens of human infections. The first human case was confirmed in the U.S. state of Maryland on August 4 in a patient who had traveled to El Salvador. Mexico and the U.S. eradicated screwworms decades ago, but the parasite returned around 2013 after moving northward from Central America. The infestation has disrupted Mexican cattle exports, with losses valued at $1.3 billion over the past year, according to the Mexican National Agricultural Council. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, said that left unchecked, screwworms threaten $100 billion in economic activity linked to the cattle and livestock industries. The Mexican and U.S. governments are building sterile fly production facilities in the state of Chiapas and Texas to reduce the population of screw flies. A sterile fly facility produces a large number of male flies and sterilizes them, and these are then released to mate with females in the wild, which reduces the wild population over time. This method eradicated screwworms from the U.S. in the 1960s. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, has also approved emergency veterinary drugs to prevent the parasite from spreading. They include animal drug products that may be approved for other purposes or available in other countries, but not formally approved for the screwworms, HHS said. The risk to human health in the United States remains very low, but the potential future threat to animal population and the food supply chain requires proactive action, it said. Frama Panyi, NTAi News.
President Bola Tinubu has expressed sadness over the passing of Alhaji Ahmed Aliyu Mustafa, the Sardauna Adamawa, and a one-time Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service. Mustafa died on Thursday in Abuja at the age of 76. President Tinubu acknowledged the deceased's contributions to the growth and development of the Nigerian Customs Service and immense services to his Adamawa home state. He extends his condolences to the Adamawa Emirate Council, the governments and the people, praying that Almighty Allah grant his soul Al-Jannah Firdaus. We end the news here. Thanks for joining us. I am Comfort Fashion, and my sign language interpreter has been Shegun Ajayi.